Grammar, grammar, grammar. Sometimes we find ourselves making some mistakes. In fact, common errors in English grammar can also be an issue or a something, if you like, good communication in standard language. Clear? Yes, I'm Willice Ochieng talking to you from Kenya, and I would go straight to the common errors that we always make when we use English. Now, nobody, not even Willice, is spotless. So, correcting the common errors should not suggest that Willice cannot make a mistake. Not even a native speaker of English or any other language on earth can be spotless in using a language. Nobody can be spotless. Clear? Right. Now, there are people who find themselves using this statement or phrase. Now, somebody says, he is the runners up. He is the runners up. Please avoid that. When you use a singular person, that is a noun, a singular noun, don't say runners up. No. You say he is the runner up. She is the runner up. You get it clearly? Don't say he or she is the runners up. No. You say he is the runners up. She is the runners up. I would give you an X. You just say runner up for an individual. Clear? Yes. He or she is the runner up, not runners up. Clear? Great. Now, the next one is also common because when we use that phrasal verb, people find themselves using the wrong preposition. Now, you say to put the fire out. To put the fire out, not to put the fire off. To put the fire off, if you mean to stop fire from burning, to extinguish fire, please don't say to put the fire off. Don't use the preposition off. You use out. To put the fire out. Clear? Good. Now let's move to the next error or common mistake when people use English. Now, somebody may say, so and so is a friend of him, which is wrong, and that is why I have an X. A friend of him. No. You say a friend of his. A friend of his. That is the way. A friend of mine, not a friend of me. A friend of ours, not a friend of we or a friend of us. A friend of ours. Then a friend of yours, a friend of yours, not a friend of you. A friend of hers, not a friend of she or her. You say a friend of hers, a friend of theirs, not a friend of them. Clear? Anyway, English is tricky, but learning helps us all. Clear? Wherever you are, in any part of the world, nobody is spotless or perfect, but we are learning to get them right. Now, let's move on. When you make or when you go somewhere, please don't say you go in a journey. No, in is not the right preposition. You say you go on a journey. In, I give you an X. On, yes. So you say to go on a journey. To go on a journey. Clear? Great. Now, the next one is from the verb prefer. Which preposition or which one do we use in this case? Now, you prefer something to another. You don't prefer A than B. To prefer than, no, an X. Please, you say, I prefer A to B. Full stop. Clear? Prefer to, not prefer than. Clear? Great. Now, learning has no full stop. Learning has no end to all of us. So, we are getting them right. And that tells us that we should never and never laugh at anybody who makes a mistake in any language, especially second or target languages. They are tricky. But when we seek guidance, when we look at or we check in good reference materials, we would always get them right if we are keen on getting them right. Clear? Great. Now, let's move to this one. Can you take a look? It's a very common phrase. People use it. Many people innocently say, I am an alumni. Now, alumni is in plural. Alumni is in plural, so it does not agree with the subject. I am an alumnus or I am an alumna. Please, if you say I am an alumni, so you are one person, an individual, but representing so many people, which is not very clear in this case. Please avoid saying I am an alumni. No. Maybe sometimes we find ourselves saying I am an alumni. But the right pronunciation, by the way, is alumni. Alumni. As a person, as an individual, don't call yourself alumni. Alumni is the plural form. So you can say I am an alumnus or I am an alumna. Tricky. Because when you say alumni, it refers to the male and female former students of a school or a college, if you like, a university. So it's a common mistake, but nobody's wish. We are learning. Clear? Great. Now, let's get to this one. Can you say it? Take a look and say it wherever you are. I have an X because the word arraign, the verb arraign, means to take somebody to court, to be taken to court to face charges, to formally face criminal charges, to be taken to court. So you say, he or she was arraigned, full stop. So and so was arraigned, full stop. Or you can say, he was arraigned on murder charges. He was arraigned on this. Don't say arraigned and you add in court. That is just like saying repeat again or can be able. Can be able is repetitive, so you just say I am able or I can do this. But don't say I can be able. Common but wrong, grammatically speaking. Clear? You say she or he was arraigned on charges of this, but don't use arraign in court. That is repetitive. Clear? It may be a big surprise to many people, but sometimes when you get time to check some of these words that we use, especially when we are using the second or target languages, checking can really help you a lot. But nobody, not even Willice, is spotless. Clear? Great. Now, let's get to words that have alternative plurals. Now, just like the word cactus. Cactus. Cactus, the plural can be cacti, cacti or cactuses. Cacti or cactuses. So when you see somebody, or when somebody uses cacti, don't tell that person you are wrong, because cactuses is just the variant or the alternative of cacti. Clear? Yes, knowledge. And definite knowledge can help a lot. Clear? Great. Now, we also have this word, stadium. Stadium. You may agree with me that sometimes people really argue over the plural of stadium. But both forms are acceptable as alternative plurals of stadium. That is, you can say stadia. Stadia. Don't say stadia in pronunciation, please. Avoid that. Stadia. Stadium. Stadia. But you can also use stadiums. Stadiums with S added for that plural S. Clear? Stadia, stadiums. Alternatives which are acceptable in standard English. Clear? Good. Now let's move to the next one. And we have the word rostrum. Rostrum. You can use rostra or rostrums. Rostra as the plural or rostrums. Clear? Good. Now let's move on, and we have the word plateau. A plateau. Do you agree with me that many people innocently mispronounce that word as plateau? Plateau, no, we don't have that pronunciation for this word. You say plateau. A plateau. Tricky, but manageable. Plateau. Can you say that? Plateau. Now, the plurals are two. You can say plateaus with an S. Plateaus or plateaus with an X. You get it clearly? You can use S or X in the ending of this word for plural. Clear? Great. Similarly, we have the word bureau. Bureau. Also avoid saying biru. Don't say biru for this word. You say bureau. Bureau. And the plural. The plural can either be with an S or with an X. Both are acceptable in standard English. So you can say, the pronunciation is simply bureaus, but you can use S or you use X in its ending. Clear? Cool. Now let's just be very, very careful when we use words that we have not checked. And when we hear somebody using a word that we have not checked, then we start saying, oh, you are wrong. You are, no, check.